welcome to another design team layout for Crazy Craft Obsession. Now, this one, I have to say, I stumped myself. Can you see? Okay, so my base page is 49th and Market, Spectrum Sherbet from the Solids collection, and it's Cotton Candy. Now, can you see the page that is there right now? I thought I would challenge myself, and I got this piece of paper it's a specialty paper. It's Amy Tangerine, Brave and Bold, and it's iridescent cardstock, and it is gorgeous. The problem I had with it, and I know you guys think that I just create every single day and it comes easy to me, and 99% of the time I would have to say you are true and correct. However, this time, this particular product, it stumped me good and proper. I've had this is probably my second last layout out of this design team box, and I have to say I've been putting this one off because I did not know. I didn't want to do the classic say truck see truck. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to look at this paper and see a starburst but I didn't want to see that because that's just too obvious for me. So what I decided to do, after lots of procrastination, I pulled out a punch. Now, this punch is not from Crazy Craft Obsession. This is one that I've had for a gazillion years, and to be completely honest, I think I've used it twice. It's a Creative Memories one. I don't even know if you can still get it. I bought it like years ago. Now, any punch will do. Okay. So, or you could use your Cricut if you want to use your Cricut. I wanted to specifically cut the colors in two different directions. Now, here's something that I don't know if it might seem like common knowledge to most people, but I have started to learn that what seems to be common knowledge to some people, other people just don't know. Now, if you get a punch like this, right, and it goes a certain direction. So this is a wonky heart, right? As you can see down the bottom there, it goes one direction. That's not a problem. You can simply put your paper in up the other way and you get the heart going both directions. I know that sounds really silly but some people may not know that. So today's tip, if you're using punches and they're not symmetrical, all you have to do to get them to go both sides, to go both directions, is simply flip your paper over and bingo, you can do it. And they go two different directions. Now, I decided what I would do is, you can see the cheeky photos of Jen there. This was obviously years ago. And you can see I'm keeping the piles separate. That's because, one, they're tilting to the left and some are tilting to the right. So that's why I'm keeping my piles separate. Now, these cheeky little photos, I have to tell you, this particular day, she had a xylophone in front of her. And as cute and as cheeky as she was, she hit that thing and banged that thing all day long. It gave me a headache. But look how cute she is, being so cheeky. And could I tell her no? Could I tell her to put it down? No. Because that's just the kind of mum I am. I just let her go. And she had an absolute blast until I'm sure we went and picked her sister up from school or something like that. And then I would have strategically placed it someplace else. But the cute little photos, I wanted to scrapbook it. And this is where I went, okay, they're blues. She's got blue and yellow in her outfit. The xylophone, you can see, has got a ton of different colors on it. So I figured I could use this Brave and Bold paper. And because it's iridescent, so some of the rays, I guess you'd call them, some are iridescent and some are not. So that's what was throwing me off. It was too obvious what to do with the paper. So I had to do something different with it. Now, all of that being said, my hand was very, very sore when I got to the end of that. And I didn't realize that the paper was so thick. It was such a good quality So it did take a bit, but that's okay. Muzzle tough. We just go through. Now, these particular pieces of beautiful Spectrum Sherbet, these come on the back side of the front part. What would you call it? The cover of the collection. And if you turn it over, there's these ones on the back. Obviously, they're journaling cards or whatever you want to make them. So I decided that, you know what, I might just create some different tones in the middle, because the xylophone sort of leans towards some yellow, some green, some whatever. And there was some other bits. See how the hearts go two different directions? The punch doesn't go two different directions. You just simply flip it over, and then you can have hearts going each way. So at this point, I'm having a bit of a play. I'm like, okay, I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work. Now what I had to figure out was, how am I going to put these together? So then this is where I wanted to, what I'm trying to create is the illusion of the photos and something Jen, and I distinctly remember this. It's funny when you look back at photos and you remember the moment, and you can see the cheeky little grin, and it's just like every time she did that to me through her entire childhood, and still does it to this day, when she does that, to me, it's just like my heart just goes poof, and it just it's like it just explodes, and it's just so cute, and she can just get whatever she wants when she smiles at me like that. And her sisters knew it too. Like, there's no hiding the fact that, you know, that the youngest one got what she wanted because she had the cheekiest grin. Now, that's just parenting, I think. So you can see on the back of these cards, that's actually the front piece of the Spectrum Sherbet collection. So I've just cut it up and I've introduced those bits. That way I didn't have to cut into the big 12 by 12s. And I've got some colour. So I've gone ahead. Now I've used the Scrapbook Adhesive 3D foam squares. I do get those from Crazy Craft Obsession, and they are fantastic. I know sometimes you look at the cost and you go, oh, really? But these things are brilliant. They are really, really good. They're solid. They're so easy to peel the back off. They're awesome. So when I can use them on something like that, it's great. Now this stencil is just one that I had in my collection. I've had it for so long. You can see it's well loved. Now I'm using the Simon Hurley Luna paste, and it is in colour Slippery When Wet. And I am just putting it through the stencil with just a makeup sponge. Now, did you notice what I did there? Because this stencil obviously is directional as well, all I did was cleaned it off and flipped it over. Now I've got it going two different directions. So when you get a stencil and it's got these swirls in it, or it's got water in it, or whatever it's got, you can flip it over and see, then you end up with it going two different directions. So you can actually create, see how it's automatically created that, drawing your attention to that centerpiece where that watermelon, it's actually raspberry they call it, but looks like watermelon card. It's drawing your eye in because I flipped it over. So, sorry, my dog's barking. It's my kids getting ready. Got to go out shortly. So now, okay, so I did just cut the edge off because I wanted to add a white border. Now, the good thing about the 49th and Market cardstock, I have to tell you this, because it doesn't matter which collection you buy, it doesn't matter how many pages you get. This is the best high quality cardstock. It is great. You can rough it up and it's so good. It is absolutely fantastic. So the edges, they don't tear. It's not an easy tear like, you know, like an 80-pound cardstock sometimes can tear. This stuff is amazing. It is so good. So what I decided to do was put them down like that and then put my foam, that's just some craft foam that I had because it was a larger section and I didn't want it to raise up too far. I just wanted these photos to go on there, not necessarily straight, because now I'm going through and adding all my hearts. Okay, because as I said before, when she smiles at me, my heart just goes poof. And that's what my inspiration was for this particular layout. And I was going to use this paper come hell or high water, mate. I was going to do it. One way or another, it was going to happen. So I'm just going through, and it's not brain surgery. It's literally just adding. I didn't put them back in their rainbow order. I didn't do that. I wanted to get rid of that concept from this particular paper. So the hearts, literally, I started putting them on. Now, if you've been here for 5 minutes, you know that I quite often say, if you look at it and you think, oh, is it working? Just keep going. Just take 2 more steps. Because if you just keep going, it will go, bam, there it is. So it was somewhere around here. Okay, that's how I clean my glue off my tweezers, by the way. I just use an emery board and I wait for the glue to dry. And sometimes I get on the tip of my tweezers because I use them so much that I get like glue buildup. Downside to that is every time I clean them off, I sharpen the tip again. Whoops. But it's so good. Now, okay, so when it comes to this particular layout, it was at about this point that, as you can see, I'm sitting back and I'm going, what do I do next? What's the next bit that's going to take this from, okay, and I thought, put some of these on here. That's not the answer. No. Then I realized, you know what? Take 2 more steps. So I pulled out my foam circles, then realized they're too big. So I then went to my teeny tiny squares. You can buy, through Crazy Craft Obsession, you can buy the smaller squares, and I will get them once I use my giant stash pile that I've got going on. Now, this is where it started to take a change, because this is when I started adding a little bit of dimension to these hearts, and it was creating some behind, some in front. And that's when I went, right, I'm on the right track. Just keep going. Just keep going. This is something that I've had a lot of questions about. When do you know when to stop? When do you know, like, do you just keep, like, how do you just keep going? I don't understand. When do you stop? Where do I put the foam? Where do I put the, whatever the question is, the answer I will always give you, it's only paper. Just keep going. If you don't like it, there's nothing stopping you painting the whole, peel all your bits and pieces off it, keep your photos and start fresh. Yes, it's hours of your day wasted if it doesn't work out. However, let me tell you, all you need to do is keep going. Just keep going. This is where I was adding extra hearts, and I left this whole process in here because I wanted you to see what happens when, if I say to you that her smile just makes my heart explode, and now you look at the hearts just spewing out from behind where my child is, you see, it sort of tells the story. So as much as you kind of want to just stop, you just want to go, oh, enough, stop, no more. And I did do that. Obviously, I got to this point and went, yeah, you know what, that's probably enough. I have used a lot of those hearts up. Now, I was going to use a big bold title, and I think I did that. This is another trick. So this is the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Storyteller foam title stickers. You can get those from, I think they still have them in stock, from Crazy Craft Obsession. And you can create your own titles with these things. So I wanted this title to say, "Love this cutie." Well, that's just not in the title. Like, it's not in there. It's not written anywhere. So you know what? You MacGyver it and you pull an I from somewhere else. The word cute was there, but the word cutie wasn't. So I just pulled an I from the is and made the word. This is how you make these storyteller titles that are already pre-made for you. This is how you make them work for yourself. And then I decided because I used a black title and I knew I was going to do this, I ended up going around it and giving it a black border, just a fine line. It doesn't need to be anything crazy and over the top. And that helped me bring the black. So it gave the black another spot. So I kind of find whenever I use black or anything polarizing like that, I feel like it needs to have multiple spots on the layout. So I've now got my black border, I've now got my black title, and then what I decide to do, I did bring the gold up. So I've got the gold from the Lunar Paste, but there was no other gold. Yes, there was the iridescent, but it's not gold. So I decided to use my Gel Impact Uniball pen, and that added a little bit of gold border around those cards. It was just enough. I nearly wrote with gold, but then I realized I needed just a tiny bit more black on this page. So I actually did my journaling along the very bottom with a black pen. It was my finer one. It wasn't my broad one. I don't even know what size it is, and I've put it away. Give me a half a second. It is Gel Impact, and it is 0.7 mil. That's the one that I like to write with. It gives you a finer, neater look. And I do have the 1.0, but that's what I prefer to use for borders and stuff. Although I use the Posca paint pen for the border on this one, because I thought there was enough reflection. It didn't really need a gel pen. So I just added the black writing at the bottom, and see how you can see that it's drawing. Okay, so you've got the black border, you've got the black title, now you've got the black writing at the bottom. It's just tied all the black bits together. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, these particular things, these were sent to me by the wonderful Bobby. She sent this over for me. I was mind blown that anyone would want to send me anything, but I was so taken back by this. It was amazing. Bobby sent me the most beautiful little care package, and in it was the PINKFRESH Studio metallic pearls. These ones are the gold ones. And I've got them sitting there, all different colored ones, and these were the perfect thing to put on this layout. So there's different ones. There's all different ones. You can get them. You can order them from through Crazy Craft Obsession, but there is a bit of a delay on getting them into stock if you wanted to give those a try. I know I definitely want some more because they're awesome. Now, this is my layout up close and personal. I hope you really enjoyed it. I really liked how it turned out in the end. Do you think I had a win with the paper, making it look completely different and not like a starburst? I hope I succeeded. I really enjoyed it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed, hit the like button, leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button. That helps my channel out a lot. And I will be back with you real soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you soon. Bye for now.